Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the third Proppy Podcast. My name is Ivan, and I'm the Chief Communications and Marketing Officer of ProppyApp. And today is indeed a special day. And I have with me today a very, very special guest. And what a day to have it as well, isn't it? And the stars are completely aligned. It's our special Valentine's Day podcast. It is my Valentine's Day, finally, with the hot and vivacious and va-va-voom Dr. Vivian Chong. Happy Valentine's Day and
Happy
welcome to
Valentine's Day.
welcome to Proppy Podcast, Vivian. It is indeed an honor. I must admit, I'm actually both nervous and excited at the same time, right? Okay, excited for obvious reasons, right? It's like I wish we were instead of having this Valentine podcast. I wish we were able to actually have this session face to face. But unfortunately, this pandemic has actually made it,
This is
you
good
know,
enough. Yeah.
ouch, ouch, ouch. Nervous, nervous, because I have known Vivian for over 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure how it was for you when you first got to know me. I'm sure it was more like a beauty meeting the beast kind of moment back then, but it was for me a love at first sight, obviously. Ching, 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 ching. Anyway, I've always been amazed by your poise, maturity, your grace, and your allure, and we have so much to talk about today and share. And I'm so glad to be able to have finally this moment a one-on-one session. Che. But of course, with so many people who's listening in and watching our Valentine's Day, but it's okay, a heart,
Ours?
a heart-to-heart session with you. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just go straight into it. Let's just dive straight into this session, and I'm sure our audience is dying to know more about you. So I'm going to let you, as how I've done with my other previous guests. This is our third Proppy podcast. This is the third guest that we have. So it's like, well, very special privilege position, man. But obviously, it had to be on Valentine's Day. I don't know why. It's like, it just so happened to be on Valentine's Day, someone. So ngam. All right. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself the way you want to be introduced. All right. Go ahead. The stage is yours, Vivian.
Thanks for having me, Ivan. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you
And
very much. Thank you. To me only, right?
to everyone, and Happy Chinese New Year.
Kong Si Fan Sai. Oh, I forgot about the
Kong Si
Chinese
Fan
New
Cai,
Year.
Kong Si Fan
I forgot about the Chinese New Year.
How
Oh,
can
yes, it is.
you?
It is Chinese New Year, isn't it?
It's
But
the
it's already the
third
30th of Chinese New
day.
Year, right? It's all right.
It's just the third day.
Okay, okay. Hey, go ahead. Introduce yourself, lah. Come on.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. My name is Vivian. My background is in psychology. I've always been very fascinated with teaching and learning and also training. When I was almost graduating, about more than 10 years back, I found myself an internship with a corporate training company. And
And
then, yeah, that was
that was where we
when,
first met. Ah.
yeah, that was when I got to
Yeah,
know.
and she was an
Yeah.
intern, a very young intern, underage someone. So it's like, wow. But I was already very
Was a
impressed.
month away from my birthday, actually. Yeah.
All right, all right. And tell us more.
Yeah. So since then I've been involved in corporate training, and I've also started my own business running tuition centers,
Mm-hmm.
learning centers, and kindergartens. And we also run kids camps, character
Fantastic.
building programs, and I also run parenting organized parenting talks.
Mm.
My work has always been revolving around education. So
See.
from educational camps, learning programs to even corporate trainings. So currently, I'm also doing my master's in educational
Oh.
psychology.
So you're a teacher. You must be the
I
hottest
am.
teacher that the students are dying to go to every day. If I have a teacher like you, I would go to class every day.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. How come last time the teachers are not like that one? They tell me, you know?
Oh,
All right. Before we go any further, I'm going to steal a little bit of this time to just give a bit of housekeeping announcement. I'm sorry, guys, if you guys are listening in from a podcast or even listening right now from our Zoom live. I'm just going to let you know this is a 1 hour recorded podcast. So thank you for sharing this 1 hour with us. Maybe we'll go a little bit extra. We'll see what happens later on. And after, for those of you who are actually here right now on our Zoom, we will have a Zoom Q&A after our recording our podcast recording. And our Proppy Podcast is actually going to be put up on Podbean. All right. So please go over to Podbean, download the app, and go and look for ProppyApp, like it, subscribe so that you will be given notification whenever we actually put up our Proppy podcast. Let me also remind you that this is not a pitch session. So if you have been invited to come in to listen to our podcast, this is actually a chance for us to get to know up close and personal with our Proppians. And tonight it's with the very beautiful, vivacious. I don't have enough adjective to describe her, seriously, if you,
Very honored to
well,
be here. Thank you.
and a little bit to tell us about why we do what we do, and hopefully get to know something more behind. I mean, something behind Proppy app, lah. All right. So I'm gonna start off with the first question. Tell us. Okay, I'm going to go into more personal before we actually, and personal and professional before we actually, take it, take it slow and easy. I'm going to lower down my voice today as well, and not reveal the excitedness or how excited I am. Of course, I think the voice belie my exact feeling that I'm feeling right now. Like, a little bit anxious and nervous. Tell us, what were your career aspirations growing up for you?
uh, Career aspirations. To be honest, right? There wasn't any specific career aspiration. I always know that I wanted to do something different.
Mm.
Probably the closest career or a job that I wanted to become was a doctor, but
Phew.
yeah,
Well, we're almost there. You're almost there. Well, you're almost there.
but
Sorry. We have to actually address you as Dr.
no, no,
Vivian Chong.
not a professor, but a medical doctor. Yeah, the
Ah.
closest thing, lah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? So did
yeah,
I.
yeah,
That was my
yeah.
that was my ambition too. Wow. I never knew we had that thing in common. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
but yeah, I know that I wanted something different.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's also probably why I've gone into running my own business from the
Mm,
very start. Right after that internship.
mm.
So I was hoping to achieve something different, lah, to do something big, lah. Yeah,
Wow.
that's like, yeah.
Yeah, obviously
It's
we
not very
couldn't
specific.
continue. I mean, I was with the previous company, and the company was called the Jungle People. And you know how
Yeah,
disappointed we were when we actually wanted you to join the company, and you say, "No, I'm so sorry." I was like, "What?"
I
Because
really wanted to join
because
you.
it was we obviously saw something in the talent in you, and obviously there's a reason why we are still here as well. In the sense that of course the talent is which is amazing. But you say that you actually started off running a business. Is that like a millennial thing? So I'm sorry,
um,
you're still a millennial, right?
Better not disclose that.
uh, yeah, yeah, I mean, it's like it's
Mhm.
like it's like everyone wants to start their own business. And how did
Yeah.
it go for you?
Um, I think over the years, right?
Mm.
Yeah, probably then you will know I'm not really a millennial, but I've faced a quite a lot of challenges, I would say.
Yeah,
I think I've also been very lucky to have been part of that group.
yeah,
Our group and
yeah,
with the Jungle People, we
yeah.
were very close with each other, and we have very good working dynamics.
Sure, sure.
And our friendship with Ivan, we lasted until today. So yeah,
I'm
and
on it.
and
I'm truly, truly on it.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, I've started my running my business and becoming an
Mm,
entrepreneur myself. I think
mm.
the hardest part, the biggest challenge is getting the right people actually.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and tell us about it as well. Always being able to find the right people. You got to also make sure that not just having the right skill sets, you must also make sure that you can jive with one another. I think it's all about
Yeah.
having that same mindset, where you can align, and pretty much when you work, you seem to know exactly, when you move left, you move left, you move right, you move right, just like a dance line, and that's
Yeah.
something which unfortunately it doesn't happen all the time in all the
Mm.
different organizations. I've worked with a lot of organizations, and this has been one of the biggest challenge with regards to really trying to build a team. And how did you manage that within even your centers? Maybe you can
Um,
share with us.
it's always a challenge, I would say. It's always
Mm,
a challenge.
Mm.
So it's very tiring, managing people and working. I wouldn't say managing them. I would
Yeah.
say working with people,
Yeah.
with a team. It's really
Mm.
very tough. Yeah, that's why it's the biggest challenge. So
Mm.
yeah, that I think that's why this is what I would really look into before I get myself into anything,
Mm.
you know.
Mm.
And actually, that's also one of the main reasons why I'm here with Proppy now.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
actually a very fantastic segue. I wanted to almost ask that question, but thank you very much for actually segueing for me. And how do you see yourself as actually also contributing to where we are, and why do you feel that this was a place that you could actually also spread your wings, so to
um
speak?
yeah, okay. Being with Proppians for how many weeks now? Only for a few weeks,
Weeks?
right?
Are you
Into a
sure?
month.
I think it's
Into a
been a
month,
month. It's been a
coming,
more
yeah,
than a month,
into, yeah,
isn't
more
it?
than a month. Yeah, a few
Oh,
weeks, more than a
fantastic.
month now. A lot of us are only connected online. I've never
Yeah.
really, yeah, personally met a lot of our Proppians, but
Mm.
actually we've been also working very, very close
Yeah.
with each other,
Yes, you
sometimes
have.
until midnight, which is way past my bedtime. My bedtime is at 10.
So now actually you know how old she is, like, you just
Yeah.
reveal your age. You're supposed not
Mm.
supposed to reveal your age, isn't it? Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So sorry to stop your chain of
No, it's
thoughts.
fine. Yeah, so I find this working culture in Proppy very different from what I've seen over the
Mm,
years. Of course, I may not have worked with for many organizations before, but my work with corporate training, has given me quite a lot of exposure in this aspect. We
mm,
have dealt with many teams, right? Employees, managerial teams, even.
mm.
I think this is something I can honestly say I have never seen something like this before. You know.
Interesting, because I would also share the same sentiment, and I'm not saying that I'm very old, but after the years that I've actually done through with a lot of corporate companies, I tend to agree with you. In the sense that because of the what I really appreciate also is the fact that everybody comes in with. Even though with their own preconceived ideas of what the corporate world is, but because we come in together, we want to create something that is brand new, something that is different. We do not want to make the same mistakes. We do not want to make the same kind of
Mm,
organization. And I think this is where it is really challenging, but it is also very fulfilling, because I think everybody comes with their ideas, and we are really helping one another to build on to this dream of turning something which a lot of people would say it's an almost an impossibility. Now, when you are being thrown with this kind of challenge, how does it make you feel? It's like people say that, hey, this kind of things cannot work one lah.
being thrown into this,
Yeah,
I would say when I first came in, right,
yeah,
I tried to look for a sweet spot, for a role that I can fit into,
yeah,
and I was asking, what do you need me to do?
yeah.
Give me a task, give me something, then I can do. If I can do that, I will do it. If I can't do
Mm,
that, then I can learn, because
yeah,
it's something new. I
correct.
really want to learn something. But I know I couldn't be more wrong asking that question now. Yeah, so actually nobody told me what to do still, until now, up until now. And everybody seems to know exactly what they need to do. But don't get me wrong, because although nobody told me what to do, but everybody has been very helpful in helping me to find a role. So I got to explore a little bit more on my own. And then I started getting the hang of being, a Proppian. Um, yeah,
Interesting,
so
isn't it?
yeah, very interesting. Um I think what I see is that you were talking about like how everyone comes together, everyone takes full ownership in what they do. That's really something that I really, it's really amazing, since because everyone owns a part of this, right?
Mm.
All of us takes full responsibility to make this work.
You're a psychologist, a bit of course organizational psychologist. I'm not sure whether you have done this, but in your opinion, basically, what do you think made everyone able to do this? I mean, from your expert professional opinion. Hey, you're a psychologist, right? Dr. Vivian Chong. Okay, I'm going to be asking you that.
Not a doctor yet, but
It's okay. It's okay. We are more than happy to call you doctor. A talent is a talent wherever they are.
I think it's a very tough question to answer. That's why
Yeah.
corporate trainers, they're still having a job until today, right? That's why, yeah, that's why all organizations they will have to do trainings, every year, yearly
And then
training
they're
and
still trying to figure it out, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
That's why. So
Yeah.
it's amazing how this team, this Proppians, all the Proppians work together.
Mm.
Yeah.
And for our listeners out there, sorry to cut you halfway. For the listeners out there, I think it's important for me to still remind you and to reset you for a little while that actually this company is only plus this month, it's only 4.5 months old. We started in October. So October and November, there was a lot of groundwork. We started with just our two founders, and I sat in because they invited me to talk to me a little bit more about what this Proppy app is all about and trying to understand it. And slowly it expanded to 5 to 7, and now I would say Proppians, there are about 40 who are both either very deep into it or still trying to figure out their path. Because actually, you just got to know about Proppy when in December. Was it in
Yeah,
December?
December,
So in
to the
December
end of December. Yeah.
wow. So actually,
Hmm.
it's almost like only a month and a half, which is Chinese New Year, and it's like as if you are now a Proppy advocate, man. You're full on. So what has been the proudest and greatest achievement, proudest moment so far? I mean, just to
Mm, my proudest moment. This is a very tough question.
uh, that you
um,
got to know Ivan. I have to say it. I
one of
had to say it.
one of the proudest moments.
All
Yeah,
right.
and that's why I'm in Proppy. What?
Say thank you now.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what has been your proudest achievement or greatest achievement,
um,
proudest moment?
if I were to something from of what I've done, probably I guess it'd be my business.
Mm,
Although I
mm,
can't say that they're
mm,
very successful businesses, but we are quite stable. We are surviving at
mm.
least. Um, it was stable. I was comfortable, at least until this pandemic. Yeah. So since last year we've shifted wherever we can online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell
we are
me
doing
about the
everything
pandemic, man.
online. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, when the pandemic hit last year, of course, I think for a lot of us who are working in the industry, in the corporate training industry, we're severely hit because we can't do our training programs, and I do a lot of experiential learning programs where we go into the jungle, do whitewater rafting and stuff like
Oh,
that.
I miss jungle.
Oh yeah, but in a sense, I guess it's a choice to whether we pivot. And I'm sure everybody heard before, no, is whether you pivot or you persist or you finally pull the plug. I think it is also it's a very difficult question to answer, isn't it? How do we pivot? I'm sure. In fact, doing this is pivoting in a sense, because we,
Yes,
instead of having our face-to-face
definitely.
date on Valentine's, we are now having a virtual date on Valentine's. I'm very appreciative that we can still do this, even though we are miles apart, social distancing. If only I can, touch you, but I can't because you're so far away. So, but that's something which I think we have got to also accept and learn to adapt. How have you been able to adapt?
Oh, to be honest, I've actually closed down one place just this month. Last
Wow.
month, sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was very tough,
Mm,
yeah. It's been quite stable, we're surviving, but then it seems
yeah.
like, a stable business is just not good enough. I've never thought it could be so fragile, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is so fragile, isn't it?
Yeah.
Business is so fragile. Life is fragile. I admit it's the same thing as well, because I had to close my business over in Cambodia, and I'm stuck here. But I'm happy to be stuck here, actually. So if I mean, looking at this situation now that you've actually somehow or other, you know, I'm not sure how deep you are right now into Proppy and how deep you want to be into Proppy. But now that you're here, why have you decided to embark on this journey with Proppy?
Um, when
Interesting, eh?
when I first heard about Proppy,
Yeah.
you were telling me over my birthday dinner.
Okay, we don't have to
uh,
announce it to the whole wide world.
Yeah, I always remember that. Yeah. So actually, even before that, I've heard you mentioning something about, something huge is coming, something that
Yeah,
will change
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah. But when you finally revealed Proppy app to me, I was more overwhelmed. I was literally speechless. I couldn't ask you any question. You remember? There wasn't any question. No, there was nothing that I can comment on. Nothing. I said nothing. What? Yeah. It was. I think for me it was so extremely huge that I haven't been able to digest everything the first time when I heard about it. That's why I didn't even know what to ask.
But actually, you're not the only person, because I think a lot of people who are first time hearing it, whether they come on the pitch sessions, the Mandarin pitch sessions, or the English pitch sessions in the past, I think that was the main common thread. Whenever we say, "Wow, you guys, it's just so many things. It's just overwhelming." And but how
Yeah.
did you navigate around that? What did you do to actually understand what you're getting yourself into?
Mm, I was also thinking like if this is something simple or it's something easy, then
Mm,
there's no point, right? So
mm,
yeah, I tried to look into it more detailed, and then
mm,
I think about it. I met up with Wilson and you
mm,
again,
mm.
so both of you very patiently sat down with me and talked to me. So
Anyone will be patient enough to sit down with you, lah. You
thank
tell me
you.
who wouldn't. I'm sure anyone who's here will be dying to take my place, but sorry, tonight is my night. And
Yeah, and I took a little bit of time to really understand, what is going on, and
yeah,
in the meantime, everyone else is moving so fast, right?
mm,
So yeah, from what I have digested, why am I in is that like just now when I was saying if this is something so simple, so easy to understand, then there's no point I could continue on with my own business. I was
yeah,
already comfortable and stable, although it was before pandemic. I can have many other things to do. So why was I in? I was thinking that to me, Proppy app is not just another app launch. There are so many apps being launched now,
yeah,
every day. Yeah,
yeah.
every
That's
day there
true.
are new apps coming in. Proppy app is from what I understand, it's a whole ecology, that will disrupt the market, especially
Mm.
the real estate market, right? So it's definitely not like any other property related apps, because it's so much more than that. That's why
But
we
I
call it.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
remember you saying, you got no house. You don't. You're not. You don't really go into property. So how did this appeal to you? Why would this appeal to anyone who is similar to your circumstance, your position, where it doesn't really relate to you in some ways,
Hmm.
or directly lah.
Okay, first of all, I'm coming in as an investor. I wanted to come in as an investor, more than a user, of course, right?
Mm,
Yeah, I wanted to come in, to become a part of something big, to build this up from scratch. I want to join
mm,
this team,
mm,
be part of it. And
mm,
secondly, if I were a user, from what I understand, actually everyone will be a user. Will be not. It's not like they can be. They will be a user. There's so many more other layers of Proppy app that we can use. Like let's say the Proppy for a very young user. Let's say they don't even have a mortgage, or they don't own any houses.
mm,
They can also be in Proppy pre-love, Proppy pink, where they can buy things. They can even
mm,
sell things online.
mm.
So that's why we call it the Swiss Army knife for property, in the property industry, right? Yeah.
And it's very interesting because I think nowadays the trend is also because of the pandemic. I think the pandemic has pushed users and many other investors also to really relook into their own investment portfolios, into seeing what kind of companies and projects that will be able to ride this wave of transformation to the future, because everything is moving digital, and we're moving towards having super apps. I'm sure you've heard of that word, super apps,
Yeah.
where you have one app that rules them all. how confident are you that when you are embarking yourself into this property, that this will be the next big thing? And it's so hard to. Okay, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, I think I've always been a very confident person. Yeah, I always know, because I've always wanted to do something different, what, right? But there is a fear, it's very it's unconscious, like, kind of
Yeah.
like an unconscious fear in yourself that you might not really think that, oh, this is really happening to you, something this big is really happening to you, you know
Yeah.
yeah.
I know how
So
it feels when something good is happening to you. You just don't know it's happening, isn't it?
yes, exactly.
Yeah. But how, I mean, what would your advice be for those people out there who is also listening in, or even at your stage when you were first, introduced to Proppy? I'm sure everybody had the same level of not just skepticism, but uncertainty and fear.
Yeah, I think for me as a business owner, over
Mm,
the years, I've realized I've been doing what I do for survival's sake.
mm,
I have to keep the business running, but it's already without a really clear goal,
mm,
because yeah, I think to a certain point we sometimes really lose sight of what we're doing.
yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes even worse, we don't think that this good thing will really happen to us. I've always been yeah, I like I say, I've always been confident in myself, but something this big, is this really happening to me?
Well, you're having a midlife
um
crisis. You're too young for a midlife crisis.
I know, but yeah, a lot of people wouldn't some wouldn't even admit this, but there
Yeah.
is this fear, or not very confident that this is really happening. But putting this fear or uncertainties aside, right? I think
Mm,
the answer is actually very clear. If you look at the product itself, ProppyApp, if you really try and understand, the whole thing, how it works, it's really something that the future requires.
mm,
If we look at the timing, everything has been shifted online now, so it's definitely the right timing, right?
mm.
And the people, our leaders, and now myself, I'm in, we have the right people as well. So why is this not ini
I
kali,
like the fact that
right?
you say, well, I mean, we have the right person in.
That's why I told
No,
you I'm
that's the kind
confident,
of,
right?
well, that's exactly what I meant. The kind of confidence, the kind of poise and maturity, in terms of what you bring in and what you have, in being able to come in with some level of certainty. But do you? I mean, what kind of future do you see yourself right now, in Proppy? Because the way in which Proppy, we conduct ourselves is actually very different from a lot of organizations out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
very
how? I mean,
different.
yeah, yeah. What kind of future do you see yourself
uh,
being here?
when I was saying that I myself is in, right, I was like
Mm,
more like, to me it's more like, because I'm in, I hold the responsibility. I have, how to say that, I have the right, I can do I can do whatever it takes to make this work.
wow.
Because it's, yeah, I can be part of it, it's good enough. So yeah, and this might sound a bit cliche, but I really do believe in the law of attraction. I
Oh,
really
so do
believe
I.
in,
Thank you very much. Yes, the
yeah,
law of attraction.
yes,
Exactly. I think the book is well written. You read that book?
yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
I really believe in it, envisioning, visualizing success, right? I think for people who don't believe this, right? It's either they have not really believed in themselves, so it doesn't work for them,
mm,
or there are also people who constantly do it without realizing it. So I think more often than not, these are the successful visionaries, the strategies. They can see the future, because they've been visualizing it. That's why it works. So
mm.
yeah, I truly see Proppy being this super app that everyone will soon have this Proppy app downloaded in their phones. So I would have I see myself, learned and grown together with Proppy,
Mm.
being one of the core team, yay, who has helped, build Proppy lah from the scratch, from the very start lah. So yeah, I'm very proud of this.
Well, I think,
Mm.
not just that you are in the right age gap and age group, where this is where everybody is making a difference. um and if it weren't for Proppy, I don't know how I'm going to be able to put this question in for you. If it weren't for Proppy, what would it be for you? I mean, obviously, we are looking at this time where I'm okay. It's like you're at the stage where you're doing your what midlife crisis, and you're moving. Change. So how?
Quarter.
All right. We'll
A
give
little
it to
bit
you.
more than quarter
We'll
lah.
give that to you. But if it weren't for Proppy, what would it be for you? And yeah,
What would it be for me? Oh,
yeah.
what question is this? Mm, uh, yeah, if okay, I've been looking for opportunities since last year.
Mm,
We wanted to create more learning content programs online to be put online.
mm.
But I find it actually quite pointless, because
Why?
everyone, many people are already
Mm,
doing that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we are merely riding along with the
Mm,
trend, but at the same time, we're not really getting anywhere, we can't really go far. So yeah, being in this industry for so many years now, I know there's more lah that I can do, but yeah, I know exactly where I can get to,
mm.
building more learning centers, running more camps, organizing more talks.
Isn't
Yeah,
that what you wanted to do as well? I mean, isn't that something which is, uh, you know,
yeah, I would maintain that. But to think about it, how far can I go? Yeah, to be honest, I was already losing a little bit of the passion. I've been doing the same thing for many years actually. You
mm,
know, um, I was also thinking, how far can I go? Like, how big can it grow? It's
mm,
definitely not enough lah for me lah anymore. Like I said, stability alone
mm.
it's really not enough lah. So for Proppy, right,
Yeah.
if I'm not in, I think I won't know what I've been missing. Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
guess maybe it's time for me also to read out a little bit of what our dear special guest her. Okay,
What?
I'm going to read out your portfolio a little bit. She's actually a graduate of psychology and she's a hypnotherapist. Okay, with a master's in science. Is it MSc? MSc certified hypnotherapist. Okay, don't play. I think sometimes you get hypnotized. With 10 years, right? 10 years of experience in education, preschool, primary, and secondary level. So obviously that's been main core of what you've been doing. Like you say, like
Yeah, yeah.
education and in kids and adults training program design. And when I mean with so much invested into that, like you said, yeah, I mean you can, I mean you yeah, comfortable. Sometimes we tend to
Mm,
be very comfortable in our comfort
comfortable.
zone, but this shift to a completely different industry, to a completely different context, talking about property and talking about app development, IT company. How do you find yourself? How are you able to cope with this completely, totally different from
Yeah,
from what you have
totally
been used
different.
to?
Totally
Yeah,
different, my goodness. Yeah, that's why I was saying I was trying to look for a role, for something, for a task, you give
yeah.
me something and then I'll do it for you, I can start learning again, But I think this is also very exciting for me. It's an exciting journey. I see it. I think for many people as well. I
Mm.
don't think like any one of us has have been given this opportunity this big. To really do something. Be part of something this big. So yeah, I truly believe this is a one of a lifetime thing. You know, who
That is a
else would?
very well. That is a very
Yeah.
very big claim to take, right? I mean, it
Yes, yes.
is. I do
I
feel the
don't want
same
to.
way as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't want to wait for another, 10 or 20 years. If anyone is, yeah, if anyone in the future would offer another,
Yeah.
chance for me to do this,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
I think it's like you said, it's all about timing. Of course, the law of attraction is being able to attract the right thing at the right place at the right time. And I think for me as well, it has been very interesting. My journey has been very interesting. That has brought me all the way here, and I've met a lot of people along the way. I've met you as well. I've met a lot of other corporate people. I've spoken to. Yeah, at the same time, I think this it really is a challenge to everyone, which I'm also excited because why would you want to do something that's the same with what other people is doing? It's got to be something that's going to be different. It's going to be something that is going to be a trendsetter, game changer, and I'm always very excited. I'm a person who always like to change all the time. Although I may not look it, I still feel as if I'm 28, same age. So, but if someone were to, like, for example, if someone were to hear this podcast in the future, and they're wondering what is it that you guys are doing, and why should I invest into property? What would your advice be, whether they are young, old, or senior or junior in this? If they were to hear this now, what would your advice be?
Mm, like I said just now, if we put our fears, our uncertainties aside, right? If you really look into Proppy, yeah, you will know that it works. Our strategies, our visionaries, it's not just that they can see, they feel that it works, because it will work. The app itself is very powerful. The timing is really, the right time to do this, and we have the right people to do this.
Mm,
So I would suggest that take some time, really look into what Proppy is, try to digest, because I've spent a bit of time really digesting the whole thing.
mm,
And it works, yeah. And yeah, of course there would be risk, because it's an investment. It's something this big. It would come with risk, but we are in we are in this ourselves. We can make this work. If you truly believe that this something this big is going to happen, then it will happen. Yeah.
so have you found your niche? or maybe this is maybe a bit more like a golden ball, a future ball to see if you were to be given this chance to decide where your future is going to be. Which path that you see now that you can actually contribute to Proppy and Proppy app?
uh i'm I'm learning a lot, I would say, from these few uh weeks, more than a month, with Proppy. I find myself new responsibilities and roles and knowledge. I've been learning a lot. But I would say, I'm very comfortable with dealing with people, you know, because
Yeah,
it's what I've been doing all the while.
yeah,
But although it's how to say this, it's the same thing, dealing with people and handling people and educating or things like this. But it's something so different, and it's also very exciting for me. Yeah.
yeah. Dealing with people are exciting yet the toughest to deal with.
Yes. Yes.
Because everyone comes with a different personalities, they come with different backgrounds, they have a different idea. Especially right now, people coming in, they're very careful with, okay, investing. People I know, they don't like to be pitched to. People don't
Yeah.
like to be hard sold and say, okay, what is it that you're doing here? But
I myself is one of those people. I'm very,
mm,
skeptical. Yeah, so I would take some time to really, give me all the information that I need. I'll read it on my own. Please don't disturb me. So I suggest you do the same if you have the same, yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
Well, I
yes.
think I think the best part about this is that we are very open to scrutiny. Come and do your due diligence in every
Mm,
one of us, the founders and the co-founders team, even, and that's one of the reasons why I'm actually decided to, as the CMCO of the company, to actually create this content as an opportunity for people to listen in. Not so much in terms of the pitch, and if it is sounding like a pitch, it is because of the passion that each and every one of the Proppians have with the work that is actually what they're doing. And this is real work, really,
yeah.
nitty gritty, detailed, really down into the trenches, working all the way to 1, 2 o'clock. I personally don't actually know that actually Vivian can work past
Yeah.
12 o'clock one, because normally by 10
Can.
she's asleep.
Yeah, ask Jess.
And it's interesting because there must be something that has clicked. I think it's important as well, because as a trainer, we also want to see, and whenever we talk to people about, um, engaging, we want to engage somebody, you got to be able to click, gives them something to click, and something clicked for you, being your own business owner, as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you run your own centers, something clicked. Obviously, it must have clicked for you. And what would that be, and how would your advice be, in the sense that, search for that thing that clicks? What
Mm,
was it that made it click for you? That was a line lah, that made you say, wow,
mm.
it has to be something. It's or we're still discovering it, right? I think a lot
I
of us are
was,
still discovering it.
yeah, I think so too. I was I was really trying to look for a role to fit in, as I said, but I remember Wilson telling me something. Yeah, yeah, he said it's because we always thought that learning would occur outside of your comfort zone,
Mm,
but why not? Why can't it start from a sweet spot, from a comfortable spot, and then you
mm,
slowly started learning. So I think that's a very a good place for me to start. I started very comfortably. I was managing my own things, businesses, and still running the centers online. And when I have some time, I started doing something for Proppy, but I find it, when I started doing more and more, I also started uh, uh, getting to know Proppy more.
mm.
Yeah, so that was when everything just started coming together, and it just makes sense, and you know that this is it. This is our ini kalila, you know.
What we think would be the challenge that we will going to face, when we actually put ourselves out there in the market?
Oh, there will be a lot of challenges, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. um, Probably one of the main challenge that I'm seeing now, because coming from my perspective, my background is also the people. But I'm
Mm,
really glad, we although we kind of have a very clear uh, everyone here, I think, we have a very clear understanding of our corporate ethos, how we want the culture to be, yeah, I think it's because it's so different, but it will also be a challenge. Yeah.
you've mentioned the corporate ethos. I think it was also probably maybe a bit appropriate for our listeners if you can explain a little bit what the corporate ethos is, and which is it that actually really appeals to you.
um um One of the corporate ethos is that we are here as close friends. We are here to help each other grow, and build our dreams together. So it's what I find is that after being involved in Proppies for a few months, right? Is that this is not just all really working towards this. We are all living this. Yeah. So this
Mm.
is what makes it, yeah, what really appeals to me, lah.
And I think personally, even when I was actually trying to write out the corporate ethos as I was discovering it as well, I think what really appeals to me here is, I think I said this before in one of the previous podcasts. I think it was a session when I had with Sharon. And I want to repeat it here, because as a trainer, like a corporate trainer, and I do a lot of team building programs. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very used to the corporate training mantras. And when we talk to a lot of our clients, we always tell them, when you want to build a team, you got to sell a dream. And most of the time, it's something that is nice for trainers to say. And I'm sure if you've been through training programs, or if any one of you have been to any previous training programs that trainers organize, whether it's team building or a leadership development program, or that any CEO will tell you is that you got to, you got to believe in the dream. You got to believe in the dream. Yeah. It is definitely important. All right, and sometimes when you go for a team building program, you get them riled up, but actually it's only at the program because it's a very nice thing to say, it's a very nice thing to actually feel, but actually when they come back, most of the time within the organization, it's like you're working for your boss, you're working for your board or whatever, and it's very different. I do find, and this is also because we are actually currently growing, but we are still at its right core. Like I said, we're only about 4.5 months.
Mm.
Everyone is actually has a stake, and I think this is a very fundamental aspect of what Proppy is at this point in time, that everyone literally is working as their own boss in a sense, isn't it? You decide what you're going to do, you decide how you're going to contribute, you decide how you're going to make this success, you decide, in your own sphere, the influence that you have to make sure that what we want to achieve as a collective goal really coming together, and that is what the dream, and that's why it's called Ini Kalila, and that's why I really really also appreciate this opportunity to actually use this platform to reach out to not just within Proppians, but those who are still thinking about, is this the right place to be? Is this the right thing that we're doing? Because I think a lot of people will still have that same feeling of uncertainty. I think that's very common, that fear
Mm.
that everybody has whenever they are being pitched. But I think from where we are at, we can actually see that everyone is really full on, and I'm so proud to be part of this. I'm not sure whether you feel the same way as well.
Oh, very proud. I'm very honored to be here. Yes.
Yeah.
And you we were talking about dreams just now.
What I wanted to say was I think everyone here, all Proppians here, we have different dreams. Like each and every one of us, we have different dreams, some of us would have, our dreams would have to do with, like, for myself, my dream is for my family, to provide for my family. Some would have been related with money, there's nothing wrong with it. Some, their dreams is to help others. But if you really look at it, like all these dreams, we can all achieve these dreams. Although each of us have different ones, we can all achieve this with Proppy, with the same goal. We have different dreams, but we have the same goal. So, this is why with Proppy, this is our Ini Kalila. Yeah.
And what would your dream be? And let that be the last thing that we say.
My dream is to be very comfortable with my family, being able to provide my family, and be very flexible in terms of, be there for my family. Yeah, that was the very basic thing that I really want to do, like, to achieve, like, yeah. And of course, now it's definitely grown bigger with Proppy. I wanted more. I wanted something else for myself as well. I wanted to be part of this something very big. Yeah, I wanted to be part of Proppy.
We are so happy to have you on Proppy as well. I'm really honored. Thank you very much for coming on live with us. All right, okay. Well, our time is almost up. All right, our 1 hour is almost up. It's so fast. It's so fast. I do not want to end this just like that. But I want to thank you for really taking the time to be our special guest. I'm very thankful that I get to spend my Valentine's night with you. So it is actually more than what I could ask for. But if the last word, all right. So let's just end it with the last word. What would you like to say to the audience and to, of course, to the listeners out there in terms of yeah, why what now for Vivian
Uh,
and Proppy?
I to be very honest with you, right? I'm not salesperson. I'm not a pitcher. No, I can't sell things. I can sell things online, but I can't sell things like that. But my suggestion would be to take some time, really get to know Proppy from your friend, from whatever you need from us, talk to us, talk to any Proppians, or the founders or the co-founders. Once you understand what ProppyApp is about, I don't think we have to pitch anything to you. We're just sharing. I think you will see that ProppyApp is the future. Yeah.
I think that is all summed up in as simple as possible, and I'm so thankful. I can just sit here and listen to you the whole day, and unfortunately we have to say good night and goodbye. So again, a big hand to our special guest, my
Thank
Valentine's
you.
date with Dr. Vivian, and yes, finally done.
Thank you for
All right.
having me.
So big hand to our special guest. I want to remind everyone else as well that this is actually a recorded podcast that we Proppy app is actually doing also throughout the every week. We are going to be doing more and more. We're going to invite a lot of our other Proppians to feature them. We're going to talk to them on a very up close and personal level. As last week, we actually had our legal eagle, Mr. Will Fang, and of course, the first one was Sharon, which is also our marketing and communications shadow. Next week, I'm not going to announce it yet, but I'm going to have another special guest who's going to, share his experience here. So we will take turns, lah. 1 week guy, 1 week girl, and then maybe the week after that we can have you come back again, and then the week. All right,
Would be honored.
I'm sure everybody will be more than happy to actually have you come on live again. But for those of you who are actually here on Zoom, do not go anywhere, because once we finish this podcast, we are going to open up for all of you to actually have an opportunity to give us your feedback, give us your chance to actually also ask questions to our special guest, our doctor to be, Vivian Chong. All right. So for all of you who are actually here on our podcast, thank you so much for coming on live. I'm very happy to actually have all of you here again. But as we say, all good things have to come to an end. I hope it doesn't end, but we will continue as well. So thank you so much for coming in, and we will see you again, same place, same time next week. All right. So here we go. Proppy Podcast. Thank you very much, guys. We're here to cuddle, canoodle, as well as cavort and converse with our Proppians. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you again next week. Live with Ivan, the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of ProppyApp. Thank you. Good night. Have a wonderful time. God bless. Take care.